On Wednesday, November the 18th, 2017, I, Philip Carmel, Chief Executive Officer of the ESJF, European Jewish Cemeteries Foundation, Igor Trayenko, Technical Officer of the ESJF, and Natalia Videnieva, Education Coordinator, visited the purported site of the Jewish cemetery of Dubno in Rivne Oblast in northwestern Ukraine. You will shortly see a film of how we investigated this site, or began to investigate this site, and the findings that we saw. Previously, it was believed the main Jewish cemetery in Dubno was on the top level in the centre of town, next to a bus station, with the bus station occupying part of the site. There are no gravestones on any of that part of the purported cemetery. There is a Holocaust memorial there, and towards the site of the actual cemetery there is a tziyun, or a marker, which many people think is an actual grave of a famous rabbi called Yosef Yosker, who was from Dubno. Dubno was a very important Jewish community at that time, and is one of the central Jewish sites of the Volyn area, of the Rivne area of northwestern Ukraine. It seems to be, from our investigations, that beneath that area where the tziyun is, on the hillside, are about, according to our own visible investigations, about 500 matzevot in an area with a perimeter length of about 750 meters, which we measured. It is a totally abandoned site, simply because nobody really bothered to look in the obvious place where the Jewish cemetery is, which is on a very steep hillside with 3 specific layers going down to a river. The oldest part of the cemetery is obviously the bit at the bottom, and the newer part of the cemetery is obviously the bit at the top. So where the tziyun is of Rabbi Yosef Yosker, that cannot be the grave of Rabbi Yosef Yosker, who died in the 1700s. That must be at the bottom of where the cemetery is, the bit with all the gravestones. So we propose that this site has to be fenced, both for halachic reasons and for historical reasons. And in the next few weeks, we will bring over a rabbinical supervisor and draw up full engineering plans and costings for this site. So I invite you to look at the actual video, which is coming on now, of the way we investigated this cemetery site yesterday. Thank you very much. Okay?
Yes.
One of the levels here, we're standing in the Jewish cemetery of Dubno. These are tombstones, completely left alone. Huge tombstones. This is a very, very large tombstone. All over this area, there are about 50 tombstones. So it's clearly a Jewish cemetery. It's completely abandoned. But up at the top, if you can see at the top, there is a tziyun. That's been done for some famous rabbi. We don't know whether he's actually buried there or anything, but the rest of the area completely abandoned. One of the most famous Jewish settlements in Eastern Europe. So now we're going to go down and see even more of these places. We're fighting our way through the jungle and the ravine and the 3 levels and all the stuff that's been left here. And now we're going down to another level, fighting our way still through jungle. We're on the territory of Jewish cemetery.
Phil, please, там.
Down there.
Yes.
Turn left, please.
Это еще второй пласт, а там третий внизу.
This is the second level.
This is now level 2. We've been on level 1, where the other gravestone was. Up at the top is a tziyun.
Еще с free.
This is the Jewish cemetery. What, sorry?
Идем дальше.
We're going to continue
Вот,
down.
yes, Матева.
See here, Matzevot. All over the place, gravestones. Large gravestones. You can
Yes.
see in there's a huge gravestone over there. This was a very important Jewish community. You can see by the other side the weight of the gravestones here.
Вот они пошли. Вот так прямо.
And more all over here, there were gravestones. Lots of gravestones. Yeah, huge. It's a huge tomb. Very old indeed. This kind of flat tomb, typical of this region.
30 штук
This
здесь
is
сверху.
all the Jewish cemetery, the whole
батарейка сидит.
area.
И нижний уровень, там где-то порядка 15-20 мацев.
And the last level is about 15-20 matzevas
Он
over there.
третий уровень
Where do we
получается.
go down? We go down here.
Так,
Yeah.
сюда не...
This was
No.
So that's level 2. But it still hasn't finished. This huge site, unprotected, abandoned.
Пускай говорит.
Сейчас я.
Дай мне свой чемодан.
And now we're going down, continuing going down to level 3. And as we go down, more tombstones
Yes.
all over this site. The Jewish cemetery of Dubno, the historic Jewish cemetery of Dubno.
Можно сюда.
You can walk in here,
Обойди.
you get an idea about what's going on here. Here it's flatter, and this is
Left.
again
Left.
Jewish cemetery. Come round here and we'll see more gravestones. So there's no doubt at all. Of course, it's a rubbish tip at the bottom of the territory. Flat tombstones. Very old indeed, these kind of tombstones. And we'll continue going down and across. At least 50 tombstones here, at least 50 graves still here. I mean, this probably, at one point or another, obviously you can see the rubbish tip here, but these are graves, flat, old graves, very typical of the oldest Jewish settlements within this region, and this is a very famous town as well in terms of Jewish history. So yeah,
Yes.
you can see total jungle, totally abandoned, but we can also say that we have clean places which look worse than this. So we can clean this. It's a big thing to do. We need to support local council, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done here. Tremendous amount of work.
I asked this guy from local mayor, he said that if we will be interested in this place, we will find everything that they might have. Any old maps, if they have it, probably they should have. It's a city, it's not even the village.
Yeah, but don't forget that this will appear on old Polish maps.
Uh-huh.
This is Poland.
Uh-huh.
Yeah?
If we will deal with
Что
this
здесь?
site, I will ask him.
Okay.
Стоишь?
Стою.
Yes. Поехали.
This was the bit that you wanted me to explain. Okay?
Yes.
Alright. This is apparently, although we don't really know, possibly the grave of this famous rabbi. But I think we should really regard this as a tziyun. There's no earthly reason that this exists and the rest of the cemetery don't exist. This is a tziyun. It is something that signifies, if you like, the presence of this famous rabbi who is buried somewhere in this territory here. But it is not logical that this remains and the rest does not remain. So what you see here, the whole totality of the ravine here, plus the area on the top level, the flat level, which is where the mass grave is, all that area, all this area, is the old Jewish cemetery of Dubno.
Простовний.
Okay.
Мацеве.
Going down here, and as we're discovering, we know, we're not just discovering that down there are gravestones, parts of gravestones. This was clearly also part of the Jewish cemetery of Dubno. Again, abandoned, left alone, ignored, not fenced. What seemed to be important here was to put this Sion in the middle of it, as if that deals with the work, which it does not do at all. Okay?
Yes.
And there is lots of land here, unused. There's no reason this can't be cleaned up and fenced and made into what it is, which is a Jewish cemetery.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Good.